In this week's episode, an unforeseen catastrophe not only threatens Aria's remodel, but the entire world as we know it.
Everything just all of a sudden, within a couple of days, just blew out
and got crazy.
While the rest of the world panics, I panic in my own way. I double down and buy another boat.
Congratulations, Brent.
Thanks, brother.
All right, Brent, you did it.
But bad luck comes to haunt me yet again as the boat that I just bought gets struck by lightning.
Are you not entertained?
I'm going on this quest to prove that the heart of history's greatest explorers and adventurers is alive and well today. This is your invitation to
escape from reality.
Your support is putting wind in our sails so that you can share these adventures with you. For hundreds of years, the maritime world has been known to be, shall we say, a bit superstitious in their traditions. A fair bit of these superstitions derived as a kind of ritual precaution to ward off any bad luck or catastrophes. However, I'm fairly certain that no superstition imaginable could have stopped what was about to happen next. Never forget that the sword of Damocles is forever hanging over our heads.
China says the number of people infected by a mysterious respiratory virus has more than tripled over the weekend.
A dangerous virus is spreading rapidly in China, and U.S. officials are very worried that it could come here.
The first confirmed U.S. case of the contagious coronavirus now in Washington state.
This is truly an unprecedented situation.
The CDC tells me we should expect more confirmed cases of coronavirus here in the United States in the coming days.
I have today declared that the coronavirus presents a public health emergency in the United States.
The window is closing for the U.S. to get the coronavirus under control.
Overnight, the Florida Department of Health is reporting another case of coronavirus.
In Florida, new emergency orders and curfews have been expanded to slow the spread. The state is now up to nearly 160,000 cases.
Now, the governor now issuing a state of emergency.
And they're not just telling you to wear masks here, suggesting it, saying it's a good idea. They're done with that. They're now requiring it.
Today, the World Health Organization officially announced that this is a global pandemic.
State by state, residents now being ordered to stay indoors. Non-essential businesses told to close.
And next thing I know, LMC lockdown for the coronavirus. Limited hours to work, social distancing. All these rules are coming in place. The CDC, the mayor's involved. We're with the Marine Industry Association that's partnering with Lauderdale Marine Center to keep us working as we are an essential business. And you can only do essential services. And everything just all of a sudden, within a couple of days, just blew out and got crazy.
With the entire state of Florida shut down due to the pandemic, all of the projects at the Lauderdale Marine Center, including Aria, are looking to be halted indefinitely. However, with Lauderdale Marine Center President Doug West at the helm, the yard was able to continue operations, but only at about 50% capacity, which is going to push back Aria's completion date significantly. But slow progress is way better than no progress at all. The charter business is the charter business. The media project is funded by the overt generosity and gifting from the tribe members. So I just wanted to acknowledge some of those patrons that have jumped on board long before we picked up a camera and started filming this crazy adventure. If you guys are a patron at the Puff level or higher, you get entered into a drawing to come out to the Dry Tortugas with us. So that's like a $15,000 prize.
This could be our ticket out of here, Mel.
So we do a drawing about every 90 days, and then you can come to Dry Tortugas with us. With the threat of this unprecedented global pandemic, Lauderdale Marine Center descended into a lockdown, and production on Aria was moving at a snail's pace. Here's the thing about retrofitting your yacht in a boatyard. Not only are you paying your contractor to do the work, but you're also paying the shipyard. When a boat gets hauled out of the water, that's very simply called a haul out. The reverse is when they splash the boat. That's when they put it back in the water, or splashing it. When your boat is in dry dock or on the hard, you pay a storage fee. Those are called lay days. So it seems that with the global lockdown and work basically cut to 50%, my lay days, they were just increased to an unquantifiable number because nobody knew when I was going to splash. Not only am I paying lay days here at Lauderdale Marine Center, but I'm also paying top dollar rent down in Key West for my empty slip. It's not all doom and gloom because, to be honest, Restless Native has been kicking ass, and we've got a nice little reputation around Key West, and we've been busy. With people going to see the reef, going to see the dolphins, and then going out for sunset, Aria has been busting her tail. And I've always thought we should be capitalizing on these longer-term charters, overnights, multi-day charters, and other islands around Key West. And in the wonderful words of Roy Scheider,
you're gonna need a bigger boat.
So in a way, the global pandemic, or coronavirus, or later what was known as COVID-19, that was my catalyst. As the world is panicking, I'm doubling down. If I'm gonna do this, we're gonna go big or go broke. So I called my buddy Brent Herman from the Catamaran Company. Now this guy has been dragging me by the nose all around South Florida trying to get me into a boat. And Aria's a great boat at 42 feet and 3 cabins. But as a 6-pack charter boat, it fills up pretty quickly. And we've been getting a demand for multiple couples, larger families. I'm gonna need 4 bedrooms. So I put Brent as a detective on the case, and he started to show me some really cool boats. But the one that caught my eye was Atlantis. This is basically the big sister to Aria, also a lagoon catamaran, and this one is perfectly set up for charter. Brent knew that I had a hole in my pocket and I needed to buy a boat. So he brought the contract, the paperwork, we arm wrestled over the price for a little bit, and I bought the boat.
All right, so I guess I sign.
Under where it says buyer, on each page at the bottom.
You did it.
Look at that, man. Congratulations, Brent.
Thanks, brother.
All right, Brent, you did it.
So the process of buying a yacht, you have to put it in escrow, and then you have to get a surveyor on board, and then you have to do a sea trial, as I've explained in a previous episode. So technically, I'm under contract to buy this boat. But then I get a phone call from Brent, and in his passive-aggressive, sarcastic voice, he said the good news is we get to go together to the Miami Boat Show, and you can get any piece of electronics equipment put on Atlantis to your liking. Whatever you choose, you can customize the whole boat. I'm super confused. And he said, don't worry, the insurance company's gonna pay for all of it. Now I'm really confused. Then he let me know Atlantis got struck by lightning. Now, one little point of note about these yachts. They're very sophisticated floating pieces of technology. You get a whole bunch of high-end electronics, and you put them in the most austere environment that Mother Nature has. South Florida sun and salt air and salt water. So as the lightning struck in and around Atlantis, it creates an electrical charge through the air, and electromagnetic pulse goes ahead and wreaks havoc to all of your systems. And most of the systems on board had been completely toasted. So now we're gonna have to go to the boat show together and replace every single thing on board. components on Atlantis is this thing called the E-Plex system. Did you ever see 2001: A Space Odyssey? Well, there's this computer that runs everything, and that computer's name is HAL.
Do you read me, Hal?
I read you.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Well, the E-Plex system is basically HAL for Atlantis, a server system that runs every single thing on the boat, from the window shades to the climate control to the bilge pumps to even the toilets. And if that E-Plex system goes down, your entire boat is dead in the water.
It's going to go 100% failure within 72 hours.
But don't let me tell you about it. Here's Scott. This guy is an expert.
This controls via 43 different modules every light on the boat, except for the hardwired ones in the bathrooms. Every single light is controlled by this. Every navigation device is controlled by this. Every toilet, every water pump, every bit of refrigeration is controlled by this. Lightning's always going to win, guys. If lightning gets anywhere near your boat, it's going to, at the very least, set off enough static electricity to damage some of your more sensitive electronics. I don't care whether it's your Raymarine, I don't care if it's your VHF. Something. If it's close enough, something's going to feel it.
It should then be a simple matter to track down the cause.
This is Alex from Multitech. He's a little smarter than I am, and will do a better job explaining exactly what has befallen Atlantis.
It can only be attributable to human error.
So Scott came over here because we had a reported E-Plex problem. When he came over here, he found multiple failed components, and he found that additional items other than just the E-Plex had failed. So he said, hey, you know what? We have some kind of an anomaly here. I don't know if it was a lightning strike, a near strike, something with the shore power. So lightning is the most common thing that damages boats. We've seen very frequently where the boat itself, like this boat, didn't actually get struck. But we see, very frequently where the boat next to it could get struck, and that affects all the boats surrounding it in a marina. It's not uncommon.
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
And as you know, I was shopping for a boat, so we pulled the escrow. And Brent and I went shopping for more boats. Once Atlantis got struck by lightning, the guys at Multitech and Catamaran Company repaired it. The insurance company paid for it. It was perfect. Everything that I bought that Brent and I had spec'd out for Atlantis was installed. So Atlantis was a 56-foot lagoon catamaran that had been completely retrofitted with all brand new replacements. And you know what was better? We removed the E-Plex system. We killed HAL.
I'm afraid, Dave. My mind is going. I can feel it.
And we went old school with circuit boards and breakers so that you could just turn everything on and off using a human instead of R2-D2 and C-3PO deciding how your boat's gonna run.
You'll be malfunctioning within a day, you nearsighted scrap pile.
And then I got a phone call from a buddy of mine who said, hey man, didn't you buy that catamaran Atlantis? Turn on the news. My heart sunk. As I flipped through the channels, I see my boat on fire.
A catamaran named Atlantis was damaged by flames while anchored at the Isle of Venice. About 35 firefighters responded with engines, a fireboat, and Fort Lauderdale Police Marine Patrol.
So I called Brent, and he's got to be just as frustrated as I am. But I took this as a sign. Maybe it's all in the name. Atlantis. First struck by lightning, then we did everything we could to repair it. On the evening before I take delivery, she catches fire. Okay. Sometimes the gods give you a sign, and sometimes they sit right in front of you and just scream in your face.
The ocean swallowed us, and Atlantis sank.
This was absolutely not meant to be. The future is very uncertain. It's time to make some lemonade out of these lemons. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.
Escape from reality.